You're watching MBS Health Extra. You're very welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. Now, a whole lot happens to us on a daily, and there's so much to deal with, and this could possibly come with so much stress. How do we handle this? Do we handle it the best way we should be handling it, or maybe we need some help? And that's exactly why Dr. Tamale Ismail is here to take us through. Well, stick around. In a little bit we'll talk about stress and a whole lot more. The great news from Taimex Nutrition Center is that you can actually be your own doctor. How do you do this? We're here to find out. Please welcome our doctor, Dr. Tamale Ismail. You're very welcome, doctor. How are you today?
I'm very great.
You're not stressed?
No stress.
That's a good thing. So, doctor, let's kick off with Taimex. What are you all about?
Okay.
Please remind us.
For viewers who are just tuned in or seeing us for the first time, Taimex Nutrition Center, we represent Dr. Peter Diadamo, who is seated in America. And what we do here is what we call scientific, personalized, individualized nutrition, whereby you eat foods according to your blood group and genotype. Then we also do exercises according to your blood group and genotype. And we also adopt lifestyle strategies according to your blood group and genotype to avoid diseases, treat diseases, and live a very comfortable life. We are located here on Nassau Road, on the building called the Conrad Plaza, which I think has Aptech. Most of you know where Aptech is. That's the building we are on the second floor. We are also located in Imbarara. For some of our viewers who are in Imbarara, you can go to, there is a street called Imbarara High Street. You find us on a very new building, and we are on the second floor. So that is what we do. As you look at that video, the video shows you exactly how, when somebody comes in, we take your blood group. When we test that blood, for us, we don't look for pathogens in the blood. We just want to ascertain only one thing: what is your blood group? And after getting your blood group, we do a lot of measurements on your body system, which we call we do a lot of biometrics or phenotypes. Phenotypes are observable genetic characteristics which you can see. Like you see, we take the lower leg, the upper leg, the angle of your joint, so many other parameters. After getting them, combine them with the blood group. There's already a formula which was done by Dr. Peter, and then it will tell you your genetic information. After getting the genetic information, then the system will advise you what foods to eat and not to eat. So you can take beef, you can take lamb. You can take oranges, never touch lime. You can take black pepper, never touch white pepper. All these foods that they come out in their categories, for the fruit category, the vegetable category, all those, they come out which you are supposed to eat and not to eat. Then the system will also show you what exercises are suited to your body system. We shall be talking about this topic in the future, but every body system has an exercise profile to adopt, and also a lifestyle to adopt. We also give you a lifestyle to adopt, as we will see briefly when we go through the next minutes. Now, if somebody has a condition, I have pressure, I have diabetes, then we give them some of our supplements. But our food supplements, really, they are taken once in a lifetime. The dose will take you about 30 days, and you don't need them anymore. Why? We assume that as long as you are eating the foods I've told you, the exercise you are doing, and the lifestyle strategies, your body
well.
system, yeah. Actually, what we basically do, we arm your body system to be able to correct illnesses, ward off illnesses, and make you live a very happy life. So, of course, to genotype you, to look up to your, to know up to which foods to eat and exercises, that costs you only 110,000 shillings.
110.
But of course, if you are the one who has things like a pressure, diabetes, pressure can cost you about 700,000, diabetes may go up to 800,000, joint pains can go up to about 600,000, depending on what condition you have. But basically 110, then the supplements, the prices differ. But the good thing that the supplements, you take them once in a lifetime, you don't need them again, as long as you follow your foods. Here it's not like you'll be on supplements all the time. So,
is it only the sick that should come through?
No, for us we deal on the children, those who are sick, those who are normal and they don't want to follow sick. You come, because basically Ours is more, it is preventive. So as long as you arm the body system, it will fight the diseases, and at the same time, it will prevent you from getting ailments. Some of these diseases, ladies and gentlemen, which you see, like diabetes, high blood pressure, which we are going to talk about today, arthritis, things like cardiac failures, heart strokes, and so on. There is no microorganism which cause them. That's why you don't see people being taken to State Square for vaccination, that today we are going to vaccinate against high blood pressure or diabetes. No, you have to vaccinate these diseases in your plate, cup, and glass.
So it's a lifestyle.
Yes, and you have to divide to fight them using your plate, cup, and glass. If you fail, come to Taimex Nutrition Center. Maybe people are calling, say that in Ibarra, I didn't say the building. The building is called Amazon. Amazon building is a new building behind, just opposite the post office on Ibarra High Street. Find us there on the first floor. You'll find Taimex Nutrition Center. So that's basically what we do here. And if you walk out of here, falling sick is by choice. And for you here who is there, as long as you have any ailment, you have any disease you are treating, and you are not treating the root cause of the disease will never go. It will just go on advancing, causing more problems. So come to Taimex Nutrition Center, no foods to eat. It costs you nothing to say, I'm not going to eat matoka, I eat sweet potatoes, I'm not going to eat nambali beans, I eat kanyiwa beans. Something very, very simple, very simple, but it saves you a lot of problems.
Wow, yeah. That's eye-opening. Yeah. Now, doctor, with so much going on, work, family, parenting and jobs, so much that people are out there trying to deal with. Now, if you don't handle the pressures that come with these things, you're bound to be super stressed.
Yes.
You talk to so many people, and everyone says is, I'm stressed, I'm so stressed, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. But we would love to know, doctor, why is stress such a big factor in our day-to-day life, and do you handle stress management? Yes,
we do stress management. Actually, here when you come after knowing your genotype, we show you how to avoid the stress. Whatever problem you have, you can avoid the stress. 2, if the stress has come, how do you handle it? And this one, we do it according to body system. For example, if I start with most of our colleagues, blood group O, say they are the majority. The blood group O stress profile lies in the muscle.
Oh.
So for him, as long if he's annoyed or has got a very big problem, he can cry, he can yell, he can shout, he can tell you point blank. Okay? He can do all sorts of things. That's the blood group who doesn't know how to handle stress.
They're very expressive.
Yeah, they are very expressive. They will not keep quiet. They will say it out. They will shout. They will yell. They will call 1 million telephone calls. Now, with such a body system,
yes.
One, we show them. For example, they have stress profile lies in the muscle. These are people who are supposed to work out. Their stress profile lies so much in the muscle. That's why if they sit down without doing any exercises, they are likely to have things like pains in the shoulders, handle the neck. And if you are over there, if you get those pains in the neck, shoulder, don't waste your time going to see doctor. Don't waste your time taking painkillers. Just go and work out. They're supposed to be in aerobics, running up and down, and so because their body
they
system,
should be a very active.
Yeah, their body system is mechanically inclined.
Okay.
Yeah, and if they don't, if a blood group, for example, sits down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, by Thursday he will be sick. Temperature can even go to 40, then the whole body is paining, then he goes to the doctors. For 4 hours, they say for us, we don't see what we are suffering from.
Wow.
Actually, basically stress. So when you come to Taimex Nutrition Center, we show you how to go all about that.
Okay.
Secondly, how do they get stressed? Whenever they are annoyed, 80% of the decisions they are going to make are wrong. Because their body system are in the muscle. He's a person who will go, he finds the workers have messed up in a farm or somewhere, and sack them.
Fires them.
Then the following day, there's nobody working for him. He's
regretting it.
What should I call them back? No, that's the stress starts building up. Because now you want work to be done, you have chased away the workers. These are people who will go, if you are fundraising and you have them, hey, if they have anything in the pocket, you will finish it out. Because once they get excited, most of the decisions they make are wrong. There are people who will go for fundraising and they even pledge what they don't have. 2 million, that one I will pay. Then when he goes back, we will say, but I think I pledged a lot of money. I also have some problems here. I don't know where I'm getting.
And then
they can even start going to borrow money to fulfill a pledge.
Okay.
When they are depressed, or so when they are, for example, when you come here, blood group O, whether you are hunter, gatherer, explorer, when you're excited, what should you do? When you are very, very annoyed, what should you do? What things are those which will avoid you be annoyed, be depressed, and so on?
Okay.
If you give a blood group O, for example, 1 million shillings and is very excited, and he goes to the supermarket, he'll buy things, he'll buy all of it.
Without thinking.
By the time he reaches home, he realizes some of the things he bought were not necessary. He said, why did I buy this? Why did I buy this? Why? Because he was acting out. So we give them a stress profile. How do you award it? How do you handle it? And if it comes, how do you do it to remain healthy?
Okay.
Now, for the other side, for blood group A's, for them now, they are the reverse. Their stress profile lies in the brain.
All right.
That's why they are usually very quiet people. Very quiet people. Somebody will annoy and may not even say a word. They are like computers, like computers. So things that stress them are lack of organization. They don't want to. They are people who are very organized. So their stress avoiding techniques lies so much in the potential to be organized. For example, if you tell him there's a meeting at 9, he'll come 5 minutes to 9. If you tell him the meeting is for 30 minutes, 9 is started, the meeting is not over, they'll walk away. Because they don't want to be lied, they are very well organized people. It's not somebody who will drive on and tell him, no, there is a meeting today, there is a party now, let's go. He will not go. He said he was not in the program. So we show them how should they handle their program. Now, because their stress profile lies so much in the brain, now, for them, the exercise profile not to go in the aerobics. In fact, when they go in the aerobics, they are going to be more stressed. Because the body system doesn't want noise. They want to be in quiet environments. That's when they work best. In fact, you find them usually being alone, in an office like this, somewhere in their rooms, being alone. They don't want noise, they don't want things that disturb them, they don't want to be light, they don't want. If you start talking to him and you are talking too much, for every 100 words you say, he will answer 2.
So they're not very social, are they?
They are not so social because when they become so social, it stresses them up. That's why they don't. We have to show them how they can. For example, if they have stress, what should they do? For them, instead of going to the gym, their exercises are simple, like walking, most of them, except if you're an A explorer. But most of these A warriors, A teachers, walking and balancing, trying to be in quiet environments helps them a lot. These blood groups, they are mainly, A and AB are mainly distributed in outside Africa. Especially in Asia, the Indians, the Chinese. That's why you find those things like Tai Chi, yoga, those things, transcendental meditation, those are the ones for those people.
Okay, and B?
So B have the best, they have the best stress handling technique.
How is that?
Because for them, naturally, they are very accommodative. They are people who don't want to hurt anybody, they don't want anybody, they don't want to go into conflictitious situations. They are people who judge what they say. Before he says anything, will judge it.
They think through it.
They are very friendly. They don't. So they have very good. But if in case they get stressed, their biggest power is also in visualization. Visualization is trying to isolate yourself and think about a problem, then to go. We don't need to fight so much for it. A, B, and A, they have the same. But the problem with the A, B, it has some. We saw they have some chameleon character. At times they want to be alone. At times they can be
very pretentious.
At times they can. So we show them also. Now you are an A, B. This is how you should handle your handle your stress, and this is how you should avoid stress. If stress is not handled properly, it has shown. Research shows many people have died because of stress. Because when you get stressed, there are chemical activities which take place in the brain and in the body system. For example, when you get stressed, for example, for blood group A's and ABs, whenever they get stressed, there's a rate of cortisol levels which are poured into the blood. When there's a rate of that hormone, cortisol, when it is in large quantities, it impairs what we call, it impairs the rate at which metabolism, the rate at which glucose is turned into energy. So you are likely to have a lot of, they are likely to have things like fats, whenever they get stressed, they are likely to put on weight. Or for blood group, or when they get stressed, they are likely to lose weight. That's why you see some people, when they have so many problems, they put on weight. Others, when they have so many problems, they sit down. So that all comes in the body system. How do you handle stress? And if it comes, how should you do it?
How should you? And then the good news is, There is a way out. There is a way out if you can come through to Taimex Nutrition, and the doctor will show you exactly how. Otherwise, you're watching NBS Health Extra. Let's take a short break. let's not look at stress lightly and just think, okay, I'm stressed, I'll be okay the next day. Some people actually don't know how to handle stress so much that it can become a very big issue if it's not handled correctly. And doctor, let's talk about human pressure or blood pressure as one of the things that can easily be sparked off by stress.
Yes. Human blood pressure, for those of you who have done some mathematics up to P2, up to primary 2, is equal to cardiac output per minute. That's the rate at which the heart is pumping out blood into the arteries, times arterial resistance. Means the problems the blood is finding in going through the arteries. That means that measures the blood pressure. The normal human blood pressure should be between 90 to 140, over 60 to around 90. That's because it's always a range. Blood pressure is not a constant, but
Yes.
it fluctuates. But it must fluctuate within the normal range.
Yes.
Now, what are some of the factors?
The major causes
that causes the pressure to go up in a human being.
Yes.
One, only two things will cause pressure to go up. Either increase in cardiac output or resistance. Let's start with the resistance. Of course, what causes the resistance? The resistance can be caused by one, diet. If you are eating wrong foods, metabolism is very bad, then you start getting fats clogging into the arteries. That means the arteries are going to narrow. Okay? And when they narrow, the blood starts passing there by force. So the pressure goes up. And even after narrowing, the blood starts even injuring the outer linings of the arteries, causing the white blood cells to come there. So the arteries start becoming small. Well, the moment the arteries become small, that means the pressure is going to go up. If you look at that formula, blood pressure is equal to cardiac output, CO times the resistance. Now, the resistance is going to go up. Why? Because the arteries have become narrow. That is number one. Another thing that can cause the resistance to be high is too much. For example, if somebody is taking a lot of salt, and you have to take a lot of salt, now the kidney cannot absorb out water from the blood at a rate it should, so a lot of water remains in the blood. Now, as long as there is too much water in the blood, that means the volume of the blood is increased, so it is going to have to find a problem in going through the arteries.
Yes.
So that means resistance has gone up. And when resistance goes up, what happens? The pressure has to shoot up. Then, when you come to cardiac output, when somebody gets stressed, or the stresses we have been talking about,
Yes.
there are a lot of hormones which are released, which increase the rate at which the heart is pumping. So the cardiac output, the heart starts pumping out of the normal. So it is pumping more blood than it's supposed to pump through the arteries. And as long as the cardiac output goes up, definitely the pressure has to go up.
Yes.
So so now some people have a combination. He has a combination of the cardiac output problem, a combination of the resistance. So all these cause what we call the pressure to go up. But of course, the major factor here for high blood pressure, there could be other factors, but I think 80%, if you are not eating foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype, you are not doing the right exercises, and you are not doing the right lifestyle strategies, you are likely to have high blood pressure depending on your body system.
Okay.
So,
now, doctor, there is high blood pressure,
Yes.
and many a times that's what we hear as probably something deadly. Is it the same with low blood pressure?
Low blood pressure
it an
is
issue?
actually the reverse. It may be a result of the heart weakening, pumping very little blood through the arteries. The pressure will be low. Or the dilation of the arteries may become wide because of some drugs and so on, so many factors. And when the arteries become wide, the pressure will go low.
Is it as life-threatening?
It is fatal, because that means little blood will go through to go and take oxygen and other food nutrients in the other part of the body systems. Therefore, you are likely even to faint, because if blood is delayed to take it to the brain, you are going to have blackouts. So
Yeah.
that is one of the that's the low blood pressure. But this high blood pressure, you see, it's the reverse of the low blood pressure. When you look at what is the effect of the high blood pressure,
Yes.
of course you can see one. If you look at that video, the arteries themselves, the blood is squeezing to go through the arteries, causing inflammation of the arteries inside and causing a lot of blood cell, white blood cells to come around that area, and that they even restrict more. That's number one. Two, when the pressure goes, as you see there, that video again, if you look at the kidney, look at when the pressure increases into the kidney is going to become malfunctional. Three, in the eyes, if you look at that video showing the capillaries in the eyes, when the pressure goes on at very pressure becomes high into those blood capillaries, they are likely to cause impairment in vision. Then another thing that you have to look at also with pressure is in the brain. Now here it is two-way. You see, as you see that video, blood going through the brain. Now when you still look at that blood going through the brain, at times, because the blood now is becoming thick, it is finding a lot of resistance, it can go at times midway on the brain, it gets completely stuck and it blocks particular arteries. Now those arteries in the brain, when they are blocked, which are supposed to take blood to a particular point of the body system, that part of the body system is going to lack oxygen and you're going to get a stroke. That's why people wake up when one day they find he's paralyzed one side. They see he has got a stroke, but he would not hear. The man was okay. I think it is witchcraft. It's not witchcraft. That's the problem. Then at times, that's why strokes are mainly for particular body. They can get anybody, that there are more of problems of blood group A and AB. Why? Because for them they have a problem with the metabolism. They have an enzyme called intestinal alkaline phosphatase, which they have in limited quantities, and they aren't supposed to break down cholesterol. That's why the blood group A and ABs are more victims of stroke, cardiac problems, and and diabetes mellitus. Now, then at times, especially for our brothers, the blood group O's who have very thin blood, the blood, it makes an effort to pass through the capillaries, it bursts them. And when it bursts them, that's when you hear that the arteries in the brain burst, and the person maybe went slept very well, only in the following day, instead of waking up, he's placed in a coffin.
They didn't wake up.
So that is some of the challenges of the high blood pressure. Of course, it infers also sexual dysfunction, because it ends up letting the sexual capillaries, the arteries into the penis and so on, and it makes somebody lose sex libido. So those are some of the bigger challenges of high blood pressure. Now, most people who deal with high blood pressure, especially the Western medicine and so on, they mainly focus at reducing the arterial resistance. And this arterial resistance is usually relaxed by some tablets like amlodipine and so on, which relax the muscle. When the artery muscles are relaxed, that means the blood will go through the arteries when it is relaxed. But they have not removed the root cause of what is causing
it's only
the resistance
temporary.
to be there. That's why most people on blood medicine, high blood pressure medicine, if you look at the side effects, they tell you it will cause you dizziness, it can cause you to be weak because it weakens, it ends up weakening the entire muscular body system. There's some tablets which they give trying to remove some of the clogged fats and so on from the arteries. But you are removing the clogged fats, but you are not dealing with what is causing these fats to go in. That's why you see high blood pressure becomes a problem in many people to treat it. Now at Taimex Nutrition Center, for us what we do is very simple. As we showed, we start up with the diet. If you are eating the right foods for your blood group and genotype, then I'm very sure you are not going to have the arterial resistance. The fats inside are going to be left clogged out. I'm giving you exercise to do. I'm giving you stress techniques, so cardiac output is going to be stabilized. We have some supplements which we give. You take them only for 30 days, and then the pressure should be able to normalize. However, you may continue with the chemical medication for some time, because for it, as we have seen, it relaxes the muscle, which keeps the blood low, but because for us, we tackle the root cause of what is causing the pressure.
I hear
and
you.
Eventually you find that when the patients go back to their physicians, they go on reducing dosage instead of increasing dosages. They go on reducing dosages. Then some of them, they start telling them, okay, now don't take any medicine until a week, 2 weeks, and then some of them we find they eventually relief of pressure. So this myth which used to be there that high blood pressure doesn't cure, it's not correct.
It's not
it will
correct.
cure if you are really determined for this high blood pressure to go. As long as you're not changing your lifestyle strategies, you're not changing your diet, it has nowhere to go.
Right. Well, your solution is here at Taimex Nutrition Center. Come through and get help. Otherwise, it looks like that's our time. Thank you so much, Doctor. And thank you so much for watching NBS always. It's very scary when it comes to health. Actually, people, just the thought of going to hospital and the horrible news that just might be thrown at you one day is a scare and a fear of so many that they would rather not even know what's happening to them. Someone has a health scare, and instead of running to hospital for maybe review or some kind of treatment, they would rather not know, so they stay at home, and little do they know that just some slight adjustments with your lifestyle could actually be what would change your life. And it's better to know actually than die silently without trying to help yourself and treat whatever issue you're struggling with. And that's exactly why we have Dr. Ismail here to help us through. You're very welcome, Doctor. How are you feeling today?
Thank you. I'm fine. Good evening, viewers. Thank you very much for the work you have done the whole of this week. Dr. Tamale Ismail is my name from Taimex Institution Center. For some of you who have just heard Taimex Institution Center, we represent Dr. Peter Diadamo, who is seated in America, and what we do is what we call scientific, personalized, individualized nutrition. And that is, you eat foods according to your blood group and genetic information. And you also do exercises according to your blood group and genetic information. And you also adopt your lifestyle according to your blood group and genotype. And once you do that, then we say you have conquered your health. In other words, what we do most is we train you to be a doctor for your own health.
Wow.
There is no better doctor than yourself. And here in Taimex Nutrition Center, we tell you that 1 gram of preventing a disease is better than 1,000 kilograms of treating a disease. Preventing a disease at Taimex Nutrition Center is very cheap, very, very cheap. 110,000 shillings, you would have cut away all these diseases like diabetes, pressure, and so on, which we are going to talk about. But if you have started getting them, it becomes very heavy. Viewers who have tuned for the first time, maybe we shall show you briefly what we do at Taimex Institution Center. We are located first of all on Nassau Road. The building is called Conrad Plaza on the 2nd floor. And you can see our phones running down there, 0758 819 952. Now, and that MTN number. When you come to Taimex Institution Center, the first thing that we do is to take your blood group. Now, to check your blood group, we get blood from you to check the blood group. At Taimex Institution Center, we don't check diseases. We don't check diseases, but we check your blood group. Why? To know your blood group. Why? Your blood group plays a very significant role in your health. Then after that, we do a lot of measurements on your body system, as you will see. We take the length of your fingers, the length of your lower leg, the upper leg, the size of your head, and so on, which we combine together with the blood group we have got from you, whether you are B plus or B minus or A plus. Then we get your genetic formation. Now, when we get your genetic formation, then the system, also we check with you to find out, one, is the weight you have the best weight you are supposed to have? Is it the ideal weight? Because we check your body mass index. That machine you see there where that lady is standing, it will tell her her weight, her height, the fat she has, the pressure. Then we shall also check for the sugar levels in the blood. Today we are going to talk about diabetes, so those are some of the things we check. And actually, at times you get astonished when somebody's sugar levels is 25. The normal range is supposed to be between 4 and 4, 5, 6, up to 7 maximum. But somebody is 25 and he doesn't know he has diabetes. That's why at times you see people collapsing on the way. So after getting all these parameters and determining your genotype, then we take you along to show you the foods you're supposed to eat. You can, for example, the system can tell you can take a beef, you can take goat's meat. You can take oranges, never touch tamarinds. You can take green pepper, never touch black pepper. You can take red wine, never to touch white wine. So all these foods which come into the body system, as classified by the genetic information, are the one literally which work as medicine in your body system. Then we also expose you to which exercises you are supposed to be doing. Maybe the other time next time we come here, we shall look at the abilities of particular blood groups. And because it is the abilities actually which determine the exercise profile, which exercise people are supposed to be doing, and lifestyle strategies. How do you combat stress? How do you manage stress? How do you avoid stress as a particular blood group? So that is exactly what we do at Taimex Nutrition Center. And that check will take care about 110,000 shillings. But when you do it, then one, you have prevented diseases. Two, if you have some diseases, the healing process will begin. Automatic weight adjustment and start aging. You become younger and younger and younger, and that costs 110,000 shillings. But when you come when things like diabetes have come in, pressure, diabetes may cost you about 800,000 shillings, pressure 700, if you overweight 650. So the prices differ according to what ailments have started attacking you. That's why we say 1 gram of preventing a disease is better than 1,000 kilograms of treating a disease. So that is basically what we do. But of course, viewers now who are new will ask, but you see me, we have been taking this, I've been taking this, but I am alive or I'm okay. Yes, we saw that. We said if you eat foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype, you don't die there and then, and you don't fall sick there and then. But the food will start up a slow, protracted, calculated gorilla war in the body system. And whether you like it, it will get you down. How? Initially, if you are eating foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype, you will get simple things like a belching, bloating, gas in the stomach, things like constipation, overweight. Gas will bring the ulcers eventually, because initially these are simple things that people get. Then the skin disorders, painful menstrual cramps here and there, they run up to pharmacies up and down. But because they don't address the root cause of the problem, eventually that starts turning them into serious diseases. What was gas in the stomach, the next time he goes back, they tell him now you have ulcers. What was sweating, panting, the next time they go back, they tell him now you have high blood pressure. Then the diseases start coming up. Diabetes, what was obesity, cancer, asthma, sinuses, and so on. And we saw that when these diseases come, 95% of the people who treat the diseases, they do treat the diseases, but they don't treat the root cause of the problem. That's why the diseases continue reoccurring, and some of them are baptized chronic. Why chronic? Because the root cause of the disease has not been worked on.
So maybe, doctor, if I may ask, there's probably watching the show, someone watching the show right now, and they're on some kind of treatment. It could be for pressure or diabetes or anything. Your kind of treatment, does it, allow room for the other person, for such a one, to continue with that kind of medication?
Yeah. For us, we tackle the root cause of the problem. The medicines go to tackle the problem.
So you can still take your medicine.
Very well, when you come here. And by the way, whatever ailment you are battling today, as long as you don't come to Taimex Nutrition Center to know what foods to eat and exercise to do, those ailments will not go. They will go and come back. They go and come back and eventually become chronic, because you are treating a disease, but you are not treating the root cause of the problem. So we are not treating the root cause of the problem will continue persisting. So when you have diabetes, pressure, and so on, when you come here, we do all that we have done to you. We give you our food supplements. We have food supplements, and our food supplements are taken once in a lifetime. You take them only for 30 days. You take them alongside the chemical whatever medication you are taking, because for them they just go to put the body system back to system. As we are removing what is causing your disease, this medication you are taking is trying to remove it. And at a certain point, when you go back to whoever is treating you, he will start reducing dosages instead of increasing dosages. And eventually, we have seen many people coming and say, the doctors told me not to, that now I'm fine, now I'm okay, now I'm diabetes free, now I'm pressure free, now I'm okay, now I'm under observation. Now they have reduced the dose, I'm only taking 1 tablet, I'm only taking half a tablet. Somebody who's taking a concoction of medication for a particular ailment, he comes back and says, now they have told him to take one. So why? Because we do what we do mainly is to remove the root cause of the
The
problem.
root cause of the problem.
But as we are going to see some of the diseases, we look at some of these non-communicable diseases. You find
Yes.
somebody has a disease like, for example, diabetes mellitus. He's taking milk, he's taking portion, he's taking chapati and bread.
Yet they shouldn't be taking that.
Even if you get a doctor from the moon, that diabetes cannot go. Because some of these foods are the ones which are causing the problem, and this person is busy taking them. So
I
that's
hear
why you take the medication, it will reduce the sugar levels in the blood that in the morning, in the afternoon it shoots up.
Right, and in a little bit we'll be getting into that, but I would love to hear from you personally. I know over the years you've treated and saved several lives through your work here, and I believe some patients come in and they probably think it's too late or their condition is really worrying. But for you personally, what's been your most outstanding, testimony from your clients?
About the disease profile?
Yes,
All.
that you've treated.
We have treated virtually all. We have seen here with the pressure going, people who had diabetes, they come back and they say they now diabetes. They just bring us more people. Things like arthritis, we have seen them vanishing. Things like ulcers. Ulcers, that takes about 3 weeks, no problem. So actually, most of the disease people had things like constipation, all these problems, hemorrhoids, piles, they go with the power of food.
Right.
With the power of food, they go. We give supplements here, but our supplements, as I told you, they only taken once in a lifetime, and they don't take 30 days. So we have seen all this. Yeah, you don't need to be taking. The body systems are not meant to be relying on medication till death. They are supposed to work out the diseases themselves. But your work is to put the right food in the body system to fight its wars. That's it.
I hear you.
And that's what we do here. We direct. That's why when you come here, we train you to be a doctor for yourself. And when you live here, falling sick is by choice. If you want to fall sick, definitely you know what to do. If you want to be normal, you know what to do.
The choice is yours today. You can choose to be healthy and perfectly healthy at that. We'll take a short breather, and when we return, we'll be talking about diabetes mellitus. So several myths surround diabetes and the causes, and you know, if you've been around some funny groups here and there, you'll have the worst and weirdest conversations as to what exactly causes diabetes. We also know this as sukari, Radeva sukari, and literally some people actually go ahead to believe that Radeva sukari okunywa nnyo sukari kwe kubuleta, and you know, up until now that we realize with the help of the doctor, it has nothing to do with that. So Dr. Ismail is here to help us kick out those myths so that we are actually educated about this very serious and life-endangering disease. So doctor, what is diabetes mellitus?
Diabetes mellitus is a Greek word which means flowing honey.
Flowing honey?
Yes, that's what
yeah?
it means. It means flowing honey. Why it was called flowing honey? Earlier tests for diabetes,
Yes.
before the modern ones have come in, which we are using today, it was the practitioners had to test somebody's urine. When they find it very sweet, they say yes.
No way!
That is
Are
how
you
it was.
serious?
That's why, yeah, it was called flowing honey.
Oh no.
So diabetes
No,
mellitus
no.
is a condition whereby there is more blood sugar. Okay, when you look at it, let's look to understand the diabetes mellitus. It's a condition whereby you have more blood sugars in the blood than supposed to be there. As long as they're in excess, then, and they're constantly in excess out of the normal range, then you are classified as having diabetes mellitus. Might be to understand it properly, if you look at that video which runs, it shows you when you eat food, all the foods you eat, the cassava, the pineapples, the what, all those sugars there and the starches and so on, the sugars in the pineapples, in the what, all those sorts of things you are eating, they are all the carbohydrates which you eat, they are converted into what we call glucose.
Yes.
As you see that video, the glucose moves, is absorbed into the blood system through from the small intestines, and then it joins the blood stream. So it joins the blood vessels. Now when this glucose goes into the blood vessels, it is supposed to be burnt to enter into the body cells so that it's burnt to give you energy to walk, to run, and do work. Now, to do that work, look at those blue things coming out from the pancreas. The pancreas is, when you look at that pancreas, those blue things is what we call insulin. Insulin is it's a hormone which is produced in the pancreas by the beta cells. There are cells called the beta cells. The insulin comes in the blood system, and when it comes, it attaches itself to the cells. Okay, when it attaches itself to the cells will open for glucose to enter in, and then the glucose is burnt. So that is a normal person. That's supposed to be. That is when you'll have enough sugars in your blood, and you will work normally. They will be burnt. They will give you energy, and you will work normally.
Okay, when it's out
But
of
usually
hand.
that's not what. Yes, usually that's what's supposed to happen. But at times things
what
go wrong.
happens?
What
could possibly go wrong?
What goes wrong? One, the first incident is where that pancreas which you have seen producing those blue insulins, we have colored them blue, it stops functioning, bringing them out. They stop bringing the insulin, or they bring very little insulin. When they bring very little insulin, that means when it enters into the bloodstream, very little of it is going to attach itself to cells to allow the glucose to enter. So you have too much glucose in the blood than supposed to be, because it's no longer entering the cells to be entered. Why? Because there is little insulin.
Yes.
Or no insulin at all. That one is usually called diabetes type 1. It is, there's no, the beta cells are not producing enough insulin, or there's no beta insulin being produced. Now, that one, it used to be for children, but now we have seen it in the adults. Also, diabetes type 1 is coming. But one of the major causes of this problem of diabetes, as we are going to see, is eating foods which are not compatible to your blood group. For example, one of the causes of the beta cells to shut down, not produce, to produce the insulin, is that the immune system attacks itself. But actually it's not the immune system attacking itself, but the lectins from the wrong foods attack the beta cells, and in the turn the immune system also attacks the what? The beta cells, and you get that sort of reaction. So that is diabetes type 1. Usually that one is at times if they are managed on injections and so on and so on and so on and so on.
Okay.
Now,
and there's type 2.
And there's type 2. Now type 2, as you see it, you see it in the video running. Now here, those insulin is released from the pancreas. The beta cells goes, manufactures the insulin, but this time the insulin they are produced, it may be a lot, but it is malfunction. It has defects. So when it enters into the bloodstream, it cannot attach itself on the cell to allow opening so that glucose enters to the cell. They just bump off and go. So the body becomes resistant to the insulin. So we call it type B, that's type 2 diabetes, whereby the body becomes resistant to the insulin. The insulin can no longer now open the gates for the glucose to enter. Okay. So that one is the greatest type of diabetes which is around.
Okay.
And
more common than the rest.
It is more common. Actually, it's the most common one, diabetes type 2, which people are having. And the question is, what is causing the beta cells not to produce insulin, to which the body is resistant? Diet. Eating wrong foods. There are particular foods, for instance, like in the scientific nutrition, there are some foods which we know they are no-go areas. Which as long as you are eating them, the lectins in those foods are going to interfere with the beta cells. And you are going to have insulin, which is insulin which the body is resistant, which the body cannot use. So that is what we call diabetes type 2.
Type 2. There's a third one, right?
There is a third one, of course, we call it gestation diabetes. That one, it is usually got because for women who are pregnant or after producing, because the hormones there's a change of the hormones and so on and so on and so on. Then there is also a tendency for the body to produce a lot of, to keep a lot of sugar and so on. And then at times when people, those are some of that's gestation period, but only for pregnant women. No, women who have delivered or who are pregnant. And usually after delivering, it goes up. It goes back. Oh, okay. But at times it may develop into full diabetes if you are eating wrongly. We have seen it. If it comes to people who are pregnant, then over a period of time, it starts even getting them even when they are not pregnant. So, but when you look at all these scenarios, you see that the major contributing factor to diabetes mellitus is the diet. The diet. If you are not eating foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype, you are not doing exercises compatible and lifestyle strategies, definitely you are likely to have diabetes mellitus. And diabetes mellitus, as we shall see, there are also particular body systems who are more prone to it than others. As the other time we looked at pressure, and we saw that pressure is mainly a blood group or problem. Yeah. Other people can get it, but also we're having a higher chance of getting it. So is that the same? No. Now with diabetes, it is more of a blood group A and AB. They are more because they have a problem in metabolism. They have some enzymes like intestinal alkaline phosphatase, which is supposed to break down cholesterol, which they have in very little quantities. So metabolism is a problem for them, keeping a lot of sugars in the blood. So wrong food is the major number one cause of diabetes mellitus. And the other causes like weight, of course, when you become heavy. When you become heavy, it means what? It means the metabolism is not working properly. That's why there's some glucose is converted into fats. And if metabolism is not working properly, time reaches when even the body fails to turn the glucose into fats until it stays floating in the blood. But what is causing weight? Food. There's no microorganism which causes diabetes. There's no microorganism which brings weight. Again, we look at stress. Stress, that's why we say in Taimex Nutrition Center, we give you a lifestyle strategy. When you get stressed, some people like blood group and ABs, when they get stressed, the brain releases a lot of cortisol. Cortisol is a particular hormone which interferes with the metabolism. So the rate at which the glucose is being turned into energy will go down, and you have a lot of sugar floating in the blood.
Right.
Then, of course, there are certain type of medications which which are likely to ignite diabetes mellitus, like steroids and the pressure medicine. That's why when people start up with pressure, they end up with diabetes. I think you have seen that. People who have pressure, you see that. When you start with pressure, you end up with diabetes. Why? Because some medications of high blood pressure will trigger diabetes.
Would you not advise for someone to go to such medications?
No, they need it because again the pressure is high, so he needs the pressure medicine. But what you have to do, just come to Taimex Nutrition Center. As we are taking these medications, we remove what is causing the problem. So that eventually they will remove you from the pressure medicine, and even the diabetes levels will go. Right. Then we have some rare cases where the pancreas gets the problem. Pancreas is that thing we saw which is producing those blue insulin. That could also bring pressure. Then autoimmune problems where the immune system attacks itself. At times attacking the beta cell, but autoimmune disorders is brought by eating wrong foods. Wrong foods. Where the immune system gets just confused and starts attacking itself. We have seen so. Next time we shall talk about autoimmune disorders. Includes diseases like arthritis, things like asthma, sinuses, or some of those diseases.
Is age an issue on this?
Age is an issue if you are eating wrongly, because Mark Lewis said if you are eating wrong foods, if you are not supposed to eat, they set up a zero protracted calculated gorilla, and it goes on calculating on age. You are eating wrong foods, everything is being beta cells are being destroyed, insulin being produced, it starts becoming resistant, you are destroying your body system, then usually you end up with diabetes.
All right.
But if you are aging when you are eating right, where would diabetes ever find you? Nowhere.
You would survive.
Then of course there are also things like smoking, alcohol, they can trigger something. But all those are trivial. The biggest vessel which brings diabetes mellitus is eating foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype, wrong lifestyle strategies, and lack of exercise.
Okay. How do we know that this might be diabetes?
Of course, there are so many signs for diabetes, and actually they go on advancing from one stage to another. Okay. But the simplest thing is, one of it is when you see somebody frequent urination, people have then feeling thirsty, then is drinking, then is going. Those are some of the signs. Things like becoming weak at times because the glucose is not being metabolized, so it's not having enough energy in the cells. So all those are some of the things. They are quite a very big, huge list. Next time we come, we shall maybe also talk about it. So when it comes to treatment of diabetes mellitus,
does it cure?
Diabetes mellitus is not a disease. It is a condition. In fact, they say he has a condition of diabetes mellitus. It's not a disease, it is a condition. And a condition which can go away. If you tackle what is bringing the condition. Because we have seen what is the major causes of the problem. And actually we have seen so many people here recovering from diabetes complete, and they go back to their physicians and tell them you don't need any medicine anymore because now the sugar levels are in 3.5, 4.5.
So it can easily be controlled.
Because the majority of people who try to treat diabetes mellitus, they focus on reducing the sugar levels in the blood by force. All these medications, you see the herbs, the metformin, and so on and so on. They try to reduce the sugar levels in the blood. Yeah. But you are reducing the sugar levels in the blood. But you are not tackling what is bringing the sugar levels in the blood.
In the blood, right.
Okay, you may restrict diet for somebody, but somebody still needs carbohydrates. You are not going to say because you are diabetic, you are not going to take anything sweet. Who tells you? You are going to collapse. You need the carbohydrates. You need the sugar in the body system for you to work and to work. So the issue is not really removing the reducing the glucose in the blood. The issue is what is bringing this in the blood. That's where at Taimex Nutrition Center, that's where we begin. That's where we begin by giving you the right foods to eat which are compatible to your blood group and genotype, the right exercises to do, the stress profile control, and lifestyle strategy. Then we give you some of our food supplements. Our food supplements will just go to bring back, remove those autoimmune problems, work on the pancreas, then improve metabolism. That's why you take them once in a lifetime. The dose will take you 30 days, then you don't need to take them again. you can remain on your medication for diabetes for the time being, because they, as we said, for them they are removing the sugar levels in the blood. For us, we are removing what is bringing the excess sugar levels in the blood. Then eventually you find that they strike a balance. There's a balance. The sugar levels are no longer going up, and you don't need to take any medication. You just continue with your foods, exercise, and lifestyle strategies. So that's how we do it at Taimex Nutrition Center.
And now, doctor, we know that it has not anything, or actually not much, to do with the actual sugar and the amount of sweet things that we
see. When you start getting diabetes mellitus, now this refined sugar, we call it the refined sugar. How do you call it? This refined sugar can be a problem, because first of all, it doesn't have any food nutrient, so it just enters into the blood system straight off. Okay, and because it enters directly, it's likely to raise already the problem which was already there, the excess sugars which are already what?
So
in the
you
blood.
should stay
but
off.
Yeah, if you're already diabetic. But taking this sugar, that's not cause diabetes mellitus. No, but when you have started getting diabetes mellitus, then you don't need to take that sugar, because it's going to make the situation worse. But there is no, but definitely anyway. The problem of sugar, this refined sugar, is a different one. Actually, it is more dangerous than causing something like a diabetes. If you go to, that sugar is not. Of course, people who have been to Taimex Nutrition Center, I think you know, there is no genotype we have allowed to take some of these refined sugars for some reasons which we know scientifically. If you want to come to Taimex Nutrition Center, we shall tell you. So that is where the issue is. So it's not that if somebody is taking a lot of sugar, you may not be taking the sugar at all. You are taking posho, chapatin, you get diabetes mellitus. If you are among those, you are taking foods which are not compatible with your body system. Right. You are not matoke compliant, and you are taking matoke and chicken and so on, you will get diabetes mellitus. So that is where it is. So that means there that taking the sugar is the one which is causing sugar. If it had been like that, people who are not taking the sugars, they will never have had diabetes at all, but they get it, especially because they have left the sugar. Secondly, even those who don't, even when the diabetic people leave taking the sugar, still the diabetes level continue going up, and they continue being on injection and medication. But we tell you, don't get scared. Don't get worried about diabetes mellitus. Come to Taimex Nutrition Center, refine the diet. Then we shall tell you the exercise to do. Take some. The supplements for diabetes alone will cost you about 900,000 shillings. But you take them once in a lifetime. You don't need to take them again. And then you can always liaise with your doctor, whatever system you are using. And eventually you find that instead of increasing dosage up to injections, now they're going to reducing dosage. They reduce dosage. Until they find it not necessary for you to take the medication.
There it goes. Thank you very much, doctor. And now you at home, you know that you can come through and have some help readily availed to you. Otherwise, that's our time. How I wish we had more time. It's always like just a moment we're getting in. But yeah, it's always a great time with you, doctor, and a lot to learn.
But those who want more information, come to Taimex. Taimex Nutrition Center, not only do we do nutrition, we also give information. Come for information. We have a lot of material to read. We shall give you a lot of references. You can go and read, understand your health.
Some interesting
Nobody should not understand your health.
Books as well.
Thank you.
That's our time. Thank you so much for watching NBS Health Extra, and be your own doctor. very welcome to NBS Health Extra. My name is Olivia Ziwa, and of course we are at Taimex Nutrition Center with Dr. Ismail Tamale, who has the perfect solution to whatever you're struggling with. Do you have a disease that you can't quite tell what it is, what the cause it is, or what you can possibly do to prevent it? We just might have some good news for you today. Stick around. What if you could just end whatever issue you have with your health with just a slight change in your diet today? Dr. Ismail is here to tell us exactly how. You're very welcome, Doctor. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, and good evening, viewers. And thank you very much for tuning on NBS at this hour to know about your health. As the moderator has introduced me, Dr. Tamale Ismail from Taimex Nutrition Center. And here at Taimex Nutrition Center, we represent Dr. Peter Diadamo, who is based in the United States of America. And what we do is what we call scientific, personalized, individualized nutrition. Maybe for viewers who have just tuned in, if you look at that video, it shows you exactly what we do and how we do it. When somebody comes here at Taimex Nutrition Center, the first thing we do is to determine your blood group in a very simple, fast, high-tech formation, which takes you about less than a minute. Now, to determine the blood group, really, why we are taking that blood sample from you is to determine your blood group. I repeat, at Taimex Nutrition Center, we don't check for diseases in the blood. So don't come
no
here.
HIV tests.
So don't come here worried, oh no. We are always looking for your blood group. That's all. And that's what those antigens are going to do. Now, when we finish getting your blood group, we do a lot of measurements, as you can see on your body system. We measure the angles of your jaws, the size of your fingers, the lower leg, the upper leg. Then we also look at your pressure readings. We also test your sugar levels. Then after that, when we get your measurements, which we combine with the blood group, we determine your genotype. Now, before even determining the genotype, we also look at your weight. Height, is your weight and height in rhythm? Are they, you have the correct body mass index. Then after that, we find out the fats you have. Are they the fats you're supposed to have, or you have them in excess? We look at the water retention, the amount of water in your body system. Is it the amount of water you're supposed to have in your body system or not? Now, why we test for all these is there is no way you can treat somebody, any disease, when he has some of the parameters already off. You cannot treat any disease when somebody is obese. Somebody is supposed to be 90 kilograms, somebody is supposed to be 70 kilograms, he's 95. And he's claiming he's treating arthritis, he's treating obesity, he's treating diabetes. You cannot treat, you cannot cure, because the body system is already overburdened. That's why we do those preliminary things to find out, are you healthy? People come when they're complaining of diseases, when actually by the time you go through the whole exercise, he's diabetic, but he doesn't know he has diabetes. His sugar levels are 17, 18, 20. Some people come here when the pressure is 200. And says, I'm going to body plane, I'm going to Nairobi tomorrow. Saying you can't go. So that's why we here at Taimex Nutrition Center, we do what we call a holistic approach to the whole of your body system. Then after getting your genotype, we shall tell you what foods to eat and not to eat. Say the foods to eat are the one which work as medicine in your body system. And those not to eat are the ones which act as poison in your body system. Then we also show you what exercise are you supposed to be doing. Many people over there, you are busy doing exercises. Some get...
But the wrong one.
Of course. Some get relief. Others say they'll never go back to the gym. Others say, I'm tired of exercise. Exercises are according to body system. If you are doing exercise without taking consideration to your body system, they are not going to help you. Those are the people you find coming from the gym and say, I will never go back. Why? You are doing exercises. Yeah. Come back when they wake up in the morning when they are very tired. Why? You are doing exercises which are not compatible to your body system.
Oh.
So when you come here, I'll tell you what exercise to do.
Right.
Then also, according to your body system, we show you how should you move your body system, your life. Every body system has a method, a methodology of controlling stress, fighting stress, and treating stress. with yourself without taking any medication. As long as you come to Taimex Nutrition Center, we show you where your stress profile lies and how you can avoid it, and if it comes, how you can go over it. Now, if you finish all that, then we introduce you to things like food layering, food combination, water consumption, what is the best way to consume water, and all these other things. That is only for 110,000 shillings. However, if you have an ailment, I have diabetes, I have pressure, I have joint pains, arthritis, I have this, I have the other, ulcers, then we introduce you to some of our food supplements. But as we've been telling you, for us selling food supplements is not the major issue. The supplements here, you take them when you have a condition.
Yes.
Number two, the supplements at Taimex Nutrition Center are taken once in a lifetime. It's not like they are going to be taking supplements throughout your life. Don't get worried. You take them only for 30 days. You follow your diet, and that will be the end of the ailment that one may be having. So that is what we do here at Taimex Nutrition Center. Then we also we introduce to you the foods we have told you to eat, because many occasions you tell people you are supposed to take a quinoa. He says, what is quinoa? So in our food store there is quinoa. We'll show you what quinoa is. We are supposed to take a green tea. What is green tea and how should it be taken? We are supposed to take olive oil. What is olive oil and how should it be taken? Because many people are busy spending their money buying some of these foods and using them very badly. So we show you, we walk you through all that. But of course, as you will see, the food supplements, the prices vary. For example, if you have diabetes, the supplements cost you about 710, pressure 800,000, ulcers 600,000. But the good thing is that you take the supplements once in a
your
lifetime. You don't need them again as long as you continue eating the right foods.
Right.
For viewers who have just joined us, Taimex Nutrition Center, we are found on Nassau Road. The building is called Conrad Plaza. Conrad Plaza, the word Conrad Plaza is not on the building, but if you look up there, you'll see word Aptech. You know, it is called Aptech building, but it's called Conrad Plaza. But you find Aptech there. Come to the first floor. You come to the second floor and ask for Taimex Nutrition Center. In case you get stuck, you can always call our numbers as they are coming on the screen. 0758 819 952 and 0778. That's one of MTN. You can also call it if you get stuck. For people who are in Western Uganda, you don't need to scramble to come to Kampala. We have a branch in Mbarara on a street called Mbarara High Street, just opposite the post office. There is a new building called Amazon House. Come to Amazon House, first floor if you're in the Western region, and then you'll be served. At Taimex Nutrition Center, basically what we do, unlike other forms of treatment you have seen, here we train you to be a doctor for your own self.
Right.
We show you how you can take charge of your health so that people should not understand your health for you. You must understand it first.
That's right.
What we do
and
here
it starts with you knowing your genotype.
Exactly.
Explain to somebody that probably has no idea what the word genotype is and the genotype diet, to be specific.
Fine. Okay. When the research was beginning, I think you have heard so many people making noise there about blood group diet. Now, blood group diet is no longer, is over. What we mean, initially it was all about blood group. Blood group diet, those are the ones you find, those people who are good at surfing, you can go to the internet, you find blood group diet. That was the beginning of the research in 1997. Blood group diet, that's why we have these books like Eat Right for Your Type. Some of you have bought some of these books by Dr. Peter Diadamo. But now, as the research went on in 2004, the research was done and it included other parameters. Apart from the interaction of the food and the body system, then there was also looking at the particular body system, their stress profiles and so on. Then in 2010, that's when the genotype diet was rolled out. Now, when we go to genotype, for people who can, if you want to understand it very quickly, the human being has 30,000 genes. There's a gene for the eye, for the mouth, for the feet, that's why you see everybody's eyes look different and so on. So there's a gene responsible for each of those. Now, here when we are doing the genotype, we are trying to look at what we call, scientifically we call it phenotypes. Phenotypes are the observable genetic characteristics you can see on a human being. You can look at his head. Some people's head are oval, others are like those of a braid, others are like balls. So all those show you the genetic formations of these balls. So we look at the observable genetic characteristics of the human being. Those are the measurements you saw in the earlier video, and also we combine them with the blood group. Blood group is one gene. Blood is just one gene out of the 30,000. So we come with the genotype. So you may be a blood group O plus, hunter, another will be blood group O plus, gatherer, another one can be O plus, explorer. Those three people, the foods differ. So for every blood group, we have three genotypes which come out. So you don't say that, oh, this one is the O plus, is eating this, and short of it is. No, that was before. But now we are at an advanced stage. That's why you see when the critics of the blood group diet still think of the blood group diet, which is now even over. We are no longer using it. We are now on what we call the genotype diet. So that is the difference. So the genotypes, of course, are a more perfect diet than a blood group diet, which was the beginning of the research.
Right. Okay. So say, looking back at the previous generations, Doctor, we had, you know, people live really healthy and for a very long period of time. But yet so much has changed over the years, and I don't think they were going about with the spin, with the genotype kind of diet. Where do you think we get it all wrong, and is it of any benefit to
Of course, when we talk of the condition of the previous generation, in fact, you don't even need to go to the condition of the previous generation. Let's go to the people in the urban, in the rural areas. Let's go, if you drive miles and go to a deep remote area like in Tuetwe, and maybe you get men who are between 50 years and 70, and put them on parade. Then you drive around and go in some of these so flashy supermarkets in Kampala, these markets and so on. Just get men.
the same age?
No. Now you don't even get the same age.
Oh, no.
Get men between 30 and 40 and 50. Just that age bracket, between 30 and 50. Make an identification parade and try to check them. These men in Kampala here, in the urban areas, between 30 and 45 and 50, either one who has diabetes, others have pressure, others have ulcers, others have sinuses, others, they have all sorts of ailments. These men here you get in the villages, between age 40 and even 60, you find they are very normal.
They're okay.
Why? That is the condition of the previous years we are talking about. Why? In the rural areas, there is, first of all, people work. Our body system, that's why here in urban areas, you have to pay to go for a gym to run exercise. In the urban areas, gym is part of the day.
Right.
They are working, digging, fetching water, walking miles and so on, and riding bicycles and so on and so on.
Right.
Number two, people in rural areas, most of them, because of the limitation of resources, they don't fry their foods. They don't have money to buy milk. They don't have there is nothing like a wheat in the rural areas. Yet in the urban areas, which is the order of the day. Okay. It's very difficult to find somebody in the rural areas taking pork every day. In the town, people retire from office to pork points every day. So all these parameters make the people in the rural areas more healthier than the people who are in the urban areas. Because of one, the lifestyle strategies, they may not be eating the right foods, but that exercise work they are doing, the work they are doing, then the lack of availability of what the so-called people in the urban areas call good eating, which is actually poison eating. See, for them, they don't have it there. So you find somebody, they just wake up, they take this tea, mujaja, without even sugar, with some sweet potatoes, he goes and digs and does his work. Here somebody is taking sausages, bread with blue band, is taking pork, is taking beer, whiskey in the fridge. So all this is that's why you see there are more diseases developing up from the urban areas than in the rural areas. And that explains the condition of the previous generation. So the condition of the previous generation, they did not have there were no ACs, they were not frying things, they would dry their meat, they would work a lot. Secondly, even oxygen distribution. A man stands in Kampala Road and is sharing oxygen with the motor vehicles, with the border borders. A man stands in a village, in a bush. All that bush is supplying oxygen to him. And of course, the more oxygen you have, the better, more healthier you are. So those are some of the few things that you look at to compare the previous generation and the current generation. That's why people who are now, today, in this generation, if you don't follow the scientific nutrition, there is no way. Diseases is the way.
Yeah, well,
So
and
that is
we don't want to be caught in this whole mess, especially when we can do something about it. You now have our attention, Doctor. Well, we're still at Taimex Nutrition Center. In a little bit, we'll be talking about something that has probably skipped the attention of lots of us in the name of, oh, that's just pain. That's in a bit. struggle with very intense joint pains? Do you have issues actually with the different joints on your body? And has it come to your attention that if this is not paid, you know, attention to and quick help is sought, you just might be digging yourself a very, very deep ditch? Now today with Dr. Ismail, we would love to talk about arthritis, because those pains can possibly become something so big and life-endangering, and it's what the doctors know as arthritis. So doctor, what's arthritis?
That's a very interesting question, because one time I received a client, he came here and he was yelling, said the doctor told him he has got arthritis, and for him he thought it was either virus or bacteria, and they told him it doesn't
It's
cure,
a scary
and he was
name.
so scared, I've got
scary.
arthritis now, they told him it doesn't cure. He was equating
It's
it
a
with
heavy
HIV.
word. Oh,
But
no.
viewers never get scared by the word. So I told you that we are here to demystify some of these
Yes.
big, heavy medical terms.
And maybe we
shouldn't-
won't be so
Yeah, they
scared.
shouldn't scare you. Arthritis is a Latin word, means arthri is joint, tis is pain. It's a Greek word. Arthritis means joint, arthri means joint, tis means pain. So arthritis generally is joint pains.
Pains.
When you have any pain, any joints in the, any pain in the joints, we say you have arthritis. Actually, it's like a translated. Arthritis, joint pains. So you should not get scared that arthritis is a bacteria, it's not a virus, it is not anything else, but it is joint pains.
Joint pains.
And when you look at arthritis per se, of course, it can generate into several things. But first of all, I want to look to address one thing. What is the major cause of arthritis?
Yes.
Viewers, there is no microorganism which causes arthritis. It's not there.
No.
Actually, 90% of arthritis, which is disturbing people, is because of eating foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype. And actually, arthritis is what we call an autoimmune disorder. The body attacks itself. We are going to show you, if you look at that video, it shows you how the normal joints should move. And then as you go through, you'll find out when people start developing arthritis, what actually takes place. You will see, actually, what takes place is that's why arthritis is a disease mainly for people who have very high immune systems. And you remember, among the diseases I mentioned for blood group or profile, arthritis is one of them. If your blood group O and you are not coming to Taimex to know which foods to take, you may not jump away from arthritis. 90% of it is caused by food. Of course, the other causes like maybe overweight can cause joint pains in the joints and so on and so on. But the major thing is food.
Force.
In two ways. One, the major way is people eat foods which are not compatible with their body system. Now, we saw in the previous teachings that whenever you eat foods which are not compatible to your body system, they have lectins. We saw lectins as being micronutrient protein compounds. Now, once lectins are not compatible to your body system, they are likely to agglutinate, gum your red blood cells. And when these red blood cells are gummed, for people, for one reason or another, mainly for blood group O's, the agglutinated blood cells, they get lodged in the joints. When they lodge in the joints, even these lectins from the wrong foods, they usually lodge into the joints. Blood group O be having a very strong immune system. The moment the immune system sees these clogged cells, because now they are different from the normal cells,
Yes.
and the lectins, the white blood cells will go straight away and start a battle. They start fighting in the joints. And the battle will go on until people cannot sleep, joints will pain, they will start swelling, and eventually the battle will continue, cartridges will be raised. You may see, as you see that joint, there is a cartridge which allows that movement. Now, as time goes on, because of the battle, continuous battle between the immune system and those agglutinated cells and lectins, eventually the cartilage start even getting wearing away. Then you hear somebody walking when the bones are making noise.
Yes, I've heard people say
that is what the arthritis is. 95% of the people who treat arthritis, they give painkillers because they don't have a remedy. The remedy for arthritis is the diet.
Right.
Now, what other people do, they give just painkillers. You take painkillers, you ask somebody to take painkillers until death. And when you take painkillers, the pain goes off, but the reaction continues to take place. Cartridges get erased, then people are going for knee replacement, people are getting, so that is the problem. That is basically what arthritis is. It can be a nuisance, it leads to surgery. I've seen people who have come here when they have been taken out to replace kneecaps. So arthritis is not something to joke with. But the only medicine for arthritis is eating foods compatible to a blood group and maintain. Of course, people who are fat, other blood groups A, B, and AB can get arthritis, but that disease is not so much in their line. But of course, if you eat wrongly, it can, but it's not so much in their line.
Okay.
This is mainly blood group. All should be on the lookout.
Okay.
Others get it, the A, the B, especially B is in advanced age. Because B, we saw it has a strong immune system, it also ends up having that problem, but usually at advanced age. But O, very fast. Actually, time reaches when and you see the general symptoms of arthritis.
Yes, what are some of the symptoms?
One of it is fever. And that sort of fever comes because the immune system, as long as there is a battle in your body system, temperatures are likely to rise. Because the immune system is now fighting the agglutinated body cells, and it is fighting the lectins from the wrong foods. Okay. The temperatures will go up. And whenever you go to the hospital, they will not see malaria, they are not going to see any pathogen, they are not seeing anything. They check your organs, okay, they say for us, we don't see what you are suffering, but for you are feeling dying. Then there are times people become weak, fatigued, loss of appetite, then usually some parts of the body start becoming numb. Then those are some of the signs. Then of course, you start getting joints swelling, because now when the battle starts intensifying, the joints can start swelling, then movement of joints starts becoming a problem. Somebody starts turning a knee, becomes a problem. Then of course, they can even dislocate, because now you see the cartridges have been worn out, and you know, for you don't know what is wearing out the cartridges. Some people reaches an extent where they inject them in the joints with painkillers, but all that is not going to help you unless you change the foods. If you don't change foods, forget. Arthritis has nowhere to go. Okay. Why? Because arthritis is a purely diet caused by food. There is no microorganism which causes it. Okay,
and maybe just so we can best understand, it sounds like if it's leaned, if it's really arthritis, how we tell is if these pains come from a blue, or are we sometimes relating the pains to maybe too much activity? Say you move a lot, you're working a lot with your hands, and then there's joint pain suddenly. How do we tell these apart?
These pains, even when you are stationed, they pain. You feel as if there is pus. Oh. You feel it's very, 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 very uncomfortable. People have arthritis, that's why they end up taking some of them end up taking a lot of painkillers, which end up even causing them renal failure, causing problem with the kidney. Oh. Because if you are taking too much of these medications, of course you know what you are going to harvest out.
Yes.
So that is how it is. So
is it hereditary though?
Now hereditary. Now, if it had been hereditary, then you'll be seeing children of 3 years having arthritis. But however, as I told you in the previous program, we say that everybody's system has a disease profile. For example, blood group O, we saw that they are major victims of allergy, gas in the stomach, ulcers, arthritis, joint pains, asthma, sinuses, high blood pressure, and prostate cancer in men after age 60. That's if they are not eating, if they have not come to Taimex Nutrition Center to know what foods to eat, they are likely to have those problems. Now, how do they become hereditary? The blood group, you inherit it from either your father or your mother. So if you are if you inherited, if you're blood group O, definitely you got it from your father. If you don't come to Taimex Nutrition Center to change the diet and food, if your parent had joint pains, you are also going to get them. Not because you have inherited them from them, because there is what we call a disease being inherited.
Yes.
A disease being inherited means you are born with it and it manifests itself immediately. For example, sickle cells. They don't wait for someone to become 40 to get the sickle cells.
Yes.
Okay, if you're sickler, the child is born a sickler. That's what we would call a hereditary disease. But these are diseases which are acquired as a result of having a similar body type with what your parents had. And for you are decided also to be like them, to eat like the foods they used to eat, then you are likely to have these problems. That's why you find that pressure running in a family, arthritis running in a family. So if you're a blood group O, your father and mother must have been an O. If you have never come here to change diet, if your father and mother, they had pressure, joint arthritis, then you're also going to get it. Not because you are getting it from them directly, but because of your body system. So that's why you have to make a very big demarcation between what is an hereditary disease and what is a disease running in a family.
Right.
So we can say arthritis can run in a family,
Yeah.
but it's not hereditary. You cannot say that the gene which this people gave me had arthritis in it. No, that's not possible. That's why we have to make this very big clarification.
Okay, how can we fight arthritis?
The only way to fight arthritis is by changing diet, lifestyle strategy. Period.
Only.
So when you come to Taimex Nutrition Center here, the first thing we even know which foods cause arthritis. Yeah, there are some foods which are very dangerous, especially for people like blood group O.
Okay, maybe you can quickly help out those right now.
Oh, I would be helping them
of
out,
them.
but I'm destroying somebody's market somewhere. So I would not like to mention them here. But for you who has been on this program,
Yeah.
you have had it.
Yeah.
Come to Taimex Nutrition Center. We shall show you which foods are killing you with arthritis. Take the supplements for arthritis. The supplements here for
And how
arthritis,
much are they?
They will cost you 700,000 shillings. But you take them once in a lifetime, and that will be the end of arthritis.
That's for a month.
That's for a month. And then arthritis becomes history. So we said that one of the challenges which is there, people treat diseases, but they don't treat the root cause of the diseases. That's why here in Taimex Nutrition Center, we make the difference. We are treating the root cause of the problem. So you come with arthritis, we shall go to the root cause of the treat and need to go.
And treat it.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. We can't say any more. It turns out that that's all the time we have for you today. But you can come through to Taimex Nutrition Center in case you have any questions about your health or a relative that you would love to assist. And trust me, it will work and you'll get the help you need and require. That's our time. Thank you so much, Doctor, for so much wisdom, so much knowledge that you've shared with us today. And up until next week, have a good night.